What's up, y'all? This is Hussein Nasser from iGeometry, and today we will do some more JavaScript. Alright, so in the previous episode, we did some refactoring in our code, right? We cleaned up a bit, we factorized our methods and functions, right? Instead of big chunk of code, we start to write functions and we just move things into the closet. Not the best approach, but this is, hey, it's a start, right? You can always start with small and then you'll end up somewhere, right? Start small. Even if it's one step, you have to start, guys. It's just a general advice, life advice. If you want to do something, start. Don't say this is not good enough. Do your best. Do it. And oh man, now I'm a life coach. Jeez. Okay, that's what you said now. Is he now a life coach? Jeez. Okay. No, but just in all seriousness, even this channel. I mean, I looked up and looked out in 2014, and there was tutorials left and right in GIS, but I always wanted to do my own thing. I always wanted to explain myself in general, programming or GIS or right, general. But so I went there, and this is my style. It describes my personality in general. But yeah, I started with a really small YouTube video and got attention, so I continued and continued and continued. And I'm not saying I have like millions of followers, but 1400 is pretty, pretty, pretty good. Pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah. So yeah, just start small. That's my advice. Always start. Don't put excuses. Your lizard brain will always put good excuses. Oh, that's not good enough. Oh, people will laugh at you. Oh, what are you doing? There are thousands of stuff already. People have done that before you. But if you're bringing something new to the table, by all means, go and do it. That's why I do this, right? Because some of you, maybe you, right? You just listen to something and an idea strike, and you go build something because you saw some piece of code or some piece of functionality, or you learned something. If you learned anything from this series, right? Uh, it makes me really feel good that some of you have went there and built stuff. And yeah, this is not the purpose of this video, but in general, we started small. Yeah, how did we derailed so fast? I'm really sorry. Okay, we're back to topic. Okay, last episode, refactored, put everything into functions as a start, right? That's how it started. We started small. We started moving things into function, populate map services. Even if it's just copying stuff, but as you can start seeing it, you make it a bit more readable, and as it becomes more readable, you can basically fix bugs faster, I think. Yeah, so, and yeah, reusability and all that jazz, right? Good stuff. Okay, so what do you want to do in this episode, right? What do we want to do? What do we want to do? So, we did the table of content. We had I want to say a bug or limitation, but some certain map services, like if you go visit the sample service and you go to pool permit, for example, you'll see just two layers, right? And that's just flat. That's how it was published. It published two layers, was published, whether from Pro or ArcMap, and you end up with two layers like that. But you can actually publish group layers or group of layers, right? Nothing's stopping you from doing that. So we need to teach our code how to read group layers or group services or group service layers or group map service layers or map sub layers. Jeez, how many names are there? Okay, for example, so pool movement, we don't have a problem, right? We just list those two. Very simple. But take the military, for example, this layer called military. Where are you? Military with an M. Military. Look at that. Look at this. There's a bunch of layers inside layers, inside layers, inside layers, right? So we need to, if we pick our current code, if we pick the military layer, you'll end up with just one layer. By the way, if you zoom in, you can see all this stuff. This is like a public service, so people edit and do all kind of stuff. Oh, that's something. Maybe my imagination. Yeah, so group layer. That's it. We do not list these and these and these. And the reason is we didn't teach our code to basically ask if the layer has sublayers, right? And the solution to this is essentially we have to teach it how to recursively read these layers and sublayers. Does that make sense? By the way, another thing, we started pushing to our repo. I called it ArcGIS API for X. So I started that last episode. Really sorry I didn't, because I didn't really know that this will be popular, really. So I just started doing that. So that's the URL. That's my name, and that's the repo, ArcGIS API for X. Alright, so at the end of every episode, I'll push, and I'll try maybe, I don't know, I'll try to create maybe a branch with the episode name so we can save the episode, kinda. I still don't know how to do that, so I'll work on that after this recording. Alright, so let's get to work. Let's read the code. What do we have here? Right. On change, see, that's, I can jump directly on this code now. I don't need to read the rest of the thing. On change servers map. So that means if this was selected, this will be called, and that's the only thing I need to read. So we pull the text content, basically military, and we create a map layer of that. And we visit the URL, put the selected service, remove all layers, so we don't keep adding maps. Add that layer, and then when that layer is ready, we basically call this arrow function. You can just, I'm just trying to be fancy, you can just type function and remove that. This is just another notation of a function. Probably not the best approach here, but yeah, why not? So this is where we need to fix things here. So what we're doing here, we pull the talk, right? Because we're populating a layer, and that, think of it this way. Each call to this method will populate that layer and that layer only. Okay? If there are other layers, we need to loop through them and then call populate layer with that layer. Does that make sense? Let's try explaining here. So the first loop or the first call, right, will return basically this layer. And if you ask me for the sub layers, this will be returned in this case, right? Which is only one item will be returned, okay? And maybe we can show you here, right? I think we can do that. Let's try to do that. I have no idea what's that. So layer dot item sub layers, I think. Dot items dot length. So that returns 1. And that's this basically, because the layers.sublayers.count, you have one sublayer. That layer has one sublayer. And then if you get that sublayer, which is sub0, obviously it's 1, and then you ask for sublayers.length, that items.length. Anybody want to guess what that will be? I'm here now. I'm asking this layer now. I'm here. I'm asking this layer. How many sublayers do you have? The answer will be this, this, this. So I'm thinking 3. That's correct. All right. And if I do this, the first of this set, now it depends. What do we mean by 0 here? Is it from the beginning, from the bottom, of the top? We don't know. Give me that. That will return 2. That means that's 0 in this case. So 0, 1, 2. For some reason, it's backward, which is kind of odd. All right. So if I do ID, and that will be 7. That's correct. So 0 is 7, and then this is 1, and that's 2. We'll figure it out, guys. All right, so that's the idea. So we need to do this with code. We need to code the heck out of this. All right. Set my wall rested T. Let's do this. Okay, so for the function, the base function calls the first, they make the first call to the layer itself, right? And pass then an unordered list. That's our current design, right? And that our unordered list, we go to the populate layer. That's the layer. That's the layer list, which is the actual item, right? What we're doing here is we're looping through each sublayer. See, that's what we're doing. We're looping and we're writing the code to populate its sublayers. I don't want to do this, right? I want to flip it. So let's make a copy of this function because I know I'm going to screw up. All right, so let's call this populate layer. Did we make a copy? Dude, I thought I made copy. What the hell happened? All right, Control Z. Copy, then paste. All right. What the hell is happening? Oh shit! I have no idea what's happening. Oh. Okay, my bad. I'm on Mac, so I have to use Command Control, not Control C. I mean, I have to use Command C, not Control C. That's just the confusing between Windows and Mac. All right, let's call this populate layer. Populate layer recursive. I know I'm gonna misspell this, so recursive. All right, hopefully I always spell it right. Okay, populate layer recursive. So what does this do? It takes a layer. It doesn't care about its sublayers. It populates itself, and that's it. And by populating, we mean this code, basically. So we'll cut that. Oh, again. So, with me still? Take that layer. We do not go to the sublayer itself. I do not care about that yet. So let's just do this, copy it here. Okay, create a check element because each layer will have a checkbox. Not sublayer, just do this layer, check.add, that's called this layer, dot find sublayer by ID, and then what does that do? It changed the visibility of that. So this is actually easier because we need just to do that on the layer itself. Okay. Let's comment out this code for now. Slowly. Slow and steady. Beautiful. Create an element, create that check element, take that visibility, and then create same thing, right? We're creating the label, so we need to populate that label. And then once you do that, you take that label, you created a list element, that's very critical, and that list element, you will append it to the layer item, assuming the layer item is always a list, not a list item. Okay, does that make sense? Layer list, we're appending it to the layer list. So far, this looks good. Now, the question comes. How about we just do this for now, right? Let's just uncomment that, uncomment that, uncomment that, uncomment that, and then we will call this. We still didn't do any recursion here, right? We just start calling this method and refresh that puppy. Hopefully we didn't break anything. Nice. Now pool permit. Oh, what did we do? That's not what I expected. That's weird. Populate layer recursive. This layer. Huh. You would think that is odd. Oh, maybe it's cached. Let's refresh it again. No, it wasn't cached. That's weird. Alright, let's just debug, see what's going on here. Alright, so pool permit. Pool permit. What do we have here? On change service. There you go. Populate layer. Why is it still populate? Oh, am I editing the wrong code? That's odd. Looks like I am editing the wrong code. Oh, jeez. Where is this? Heck, I know it. Yep, I'm editing the wrong code, sir. That's because I committed that to a folder called IG, and that's no longer the stuff. So it's a folder called IG. So IG. I'm thinking that's my code. There you go. Sorry about that. That's when I pushed things to GitHub. I started making copies of that HTML file and I started editing the wrong file. Now I'm editing the correct one. So it's in a folder called IG and that's what I push to the GitHub repo. Okay, so what we're seeing here, we're seeing this, the parent layer. We're not seeing the children yet. So we need to add code to check, hey, if you first add yourself, that's exactly what we did, right? We added ourselves here. And then once you do that, go and, now that I think about that here, once you add yourself, add an event listener. If someone clicks on you, I don't think we need to do that. Anyone clicked on you, just do that because we have the access to this layer, and then when you click on that, we'll use that. I still suspect picked that this will work, but we'll check. We'll work on that. All right. My work might not, because this is like now it's a global variable. So we need to always pull that layer, right, all the time. But we'll come to back. All right, come back. Label. Create a label. This layer. That's cool. Once we did all that, we appended ourselves here to that item. Now we need to loop through if, only if this layer has at least one, this layer has at least one sublayer, we need to do the work and recall ourselves here. So what do? We loop. We can steal this code now. Nicely done, sir. Let I equal 0, this layer, loop through the sublayers. Now, this is the tricky part here. So now, since we established that you have a new set of layers, one or more, we need to create a new list for you, an entirely new list. Not a list item, a list, an unordered list. It's called new list, right? And that new list will be passed to its sublayer. So who can guess what will be the code here? That will be exactly, hey, since we just populated this layer, loop through all sublayers, and for each sublayer, items, sub I, go ahead and populate that layer in this. Dun, dun, dun. How about that? How about that? You can actually remove those curly braces. Always, like if you have like a block of loop or for, if there is only one statement under that, you can remove the curly braces. That's just C++ 101, or maybe C 101, I don't know. How about that? Should we try this? Do we know when to stop? We do always a recursive function. You have to know when to stop, and our base case is this puppy. If your sublayer no longer has sublayers, you'll just quit. If you do, just loop, create a new element, that's a new one, pass it, and then this will go through the loop, right? It will go add itself, and then it will ask, hey, it's like a depth first approach, right? So it's always go deep, 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 and then it will go come back, and so on. All right, so let's see. Did I miss something? Yes, I did miss something very critical. After you add that element, you have to append it to the layer list, because you create a new list itself, and it's an entirely new list. You have to add this new list to that parent list, and then loop through stuff, and hopefully we got this right. I did not practice this, so we need to test it. Bro, it did not work, sir. Sir, it did not work. Debug time. Debug. 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 Alright, sir. Populate layer recursive. Go. Boo. Oh, I have to do that. Oh, come on. Okay, which layer is this? Title. Military, that's the base layer. Okay, we nailed that. Go, boo, beautiful. Boo, add that. I have no idea why this didn't execute, but yeah. Add, create, add that layer item, right? Append child, layer item to the append child. Add that. Go ahead, and that layer list that you just passed, I want you to add the layer item that you just added. And then check, does this grade on? Yes, it is. So go loop and create a new list. All right, that's a new list. And then go ahead and append that list. All right, that looks like it worked. And then loop through this layers, sublayers. Loop. Do you have that? Yep. Loop. And then send in that first layer item. And then new list. Looks good to me. Boom. Okay, I don't care about all that. Go back. Why did it exited? We don't want you to exit, sir. It either failed, which I don't see any failure, or it did not like that. So we'll calling populate layer recursive, call it back with that, this layer list, this layer dot sublayer. Ah, look at that. You saw this, guys? Probably some of you saw that and said, what are you doing? You're making mistakes. God damn JavaScript. Stupid typo. Oh, look at that. Okay, this is not what I have imagined, though. Looks like this is not what I had imagined. Look at that. So we halted on areas. Let's see. What did we do wrong, sir? But that looks good. Looks like we were looping. We got this. We got the first layer. We dove deep, right? And then we continue. Give me the first layer, which is AO align. AO align, we got that. And add yourself, and then go create a new line, new element, new or unordered list, and go the first one, unordered list. Beautiful. So what you do here is just ask for a sub layer, and we will reach here, and we'll find out that, oops, I do not have any more items. So here's where I think things went wrong. Let's see. I think it did not like that I'm asking. If it doesn't have sublayers, does it really give me 0? That's the question. Yeah, lots of bugs, sir. Lots of bugs. Hope you understand what I mean here. So let's walk this, huh? Layer, sublayers, dot items, dot sub 0, dot sublayers, dot items, dot 0, right? Dot sublayers, dot length. We got 2. Where are we here? Now we're here, okay? Now I will go dot items, dot sub 0, dot sublayers. Look at that. We're getting no. If we're here, we want to check, hey, do you have sublayers? We're failing because basically it's failing, and I really don't know why we're not having some decent errors here. We should have failed because that's what's happening. We're asking for the sublayers dot items, and this is no. Right? So we have to check, are you no? If you are not null, and let's hope this is gonna short circuit. And if you're not null, and then do that. Let's see if that does the trick. If that doesn't, I'll have to do nested if statements. I don't know another way method. Boom, boom, boom. Oh no, this is not the one I want. Military. Did that work? Oh, I think it did, sir. It did. Oh shit. Come back. Okay. Sweet. So look at that. Oh, and that our checks also work. Woo! Go zoom out, zoom out, zoom out, zoom out, zoom out, zoom out. Look at all this mess. Look at all this mess. What are you doing, guys? What are you doing? Leave the military alone. Look at that. Woo! Uncheck. Ooh. I have no idea. AI lion. Alright, Lansing River. Area. Look at that. That's what we're hiding now. You see that, guys? You're seeing it, right? It's right there. I have no idea what's that, but that's a layer, all right? That's a layer. Look at that. Look at how beautiful this is. Oh my God, I have so much stuff now. I want to do so much, but I'm gonna do it in the next episode. Next, I'm gonna show you some sexy things here. We're gonna add a button. We're gonna get the number of features, open, attribute table, read the fields, some sexy stuff, some sexy. Say it with me, sexy, sexy stuff. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do next. All right, all right. Okay. When will summer end? Officially, guys, seriously. All right, it's what October 14 now. Probably this video will come later, but in general, October 14 is still blazing hot. Oh man, California, gotta love California. Right. Supposed to I asked Alexa the other day. I was like, when does summer end? She says September 25. She's like, September 25. What are you talking about? It's still hot. October, almost a month, and it's still hot. It's supposed to be in fall. All right, look at that. Look at all this legend. That is so pretty. Okay, guys. Okay. All right. You know the drill, right? You know what we have here. We have some cool stuff. All right, so I'm gonna explain what we did here. The beauty and what if this was C#, this would never worked, right? But since JavaScript has the concept of closure, a snapshot of, or maybe it will, I don't know. So a snapshot of this function was taken at that moment of the call, and with all its object, and that object was somehow stored into this function, right? This function is the child of this function, and it knows, it makes copies of itself, and it knows, oh, my parent is this layer, and this layer has different values every time, and yet we maintained that somehow. That is cool, guys. If you really appreciate JavaScript, I mean, programming languages in general, whoever designed this, dude, that is dope. This is cool stuff, cool beans. This is amazing. This is really amazing. I'm so excited. I don't know why I'm so excited. All right, guys. All right, that's it for this episode. Next episode, more coolios stuff. Say it with me, coolios. All right, guys, sorry about that. All right, see you in the next one.